Hi guys, and welcome to another video. It's a sunny Sunday afternoon here in the shop. I've been out car booting. It was the biggest car boot of the season so far at St Michael's, Hillsborough. It had extended onto like almost the end of the field, and it's a humongous field. And unfortunately, despite it being such a humongous car boot and me having, maybe this part of the problem, maybe having too high expectations of it, I've come away from it having only spent £60, feeling a tiny bit disappointed. Now, I don't know whether that's because I've become better at picking quality items, so I'm not buying as much of the stuff that I used to buy, which probably is a good thing because I used to buy a lot of stuff that would end up taking a while to sell, whereas now I'm buying things which tend to sell quickly. Maybe it's a combination of there being more competition. Obviously, lots of people are now reselling as another source of income. Also, it could just be that more people now know the value of their items, whereas people may not have dabbled as much with eBay previously. They now have options other than eBay, such as Depop and Vinted, which are more kind of friendly and accessible. So maybe more people are learning the value of their items, perhaps. Who knows? Whatever the case is, I definitely did not pick up as much stuff as I would have expected from a car boot of this size. Bear in mind, it's bank holiday weekend and it was a huge car boot. I will show you, however, what I did find. I believe my £60 was well spent and should return me good profit. And the important part is it should return me good profit quickly. So I'm going to share with you guys the items that I picked up. My very first pickup of the day. Bear in mind, I did walk around again for about 3 hours. Very first pickup of the day were these two items here. We have got a JVC Everio S camcorder, which is fully boxed. I'll show you. It's got all its like user manual, etc. there. And I'll show you the camera itself. So it's a nice compact camcorder. You can just about see it there. You can see it's actually got a YouTube sticker on it as well, because obviously people were using these things to record YouTube videos. It's standard definition as far as I'm aware. It is not a full high definition camera, but the reason why I was comfortable picking it up is because it was complete with battery, mains charger, and it records onto like SD card. It does not record onto like a tape. Tape camcorders tend to be a lot more flaky, so I'm a little bit more hesitant. £10 I spent on this, and the guy chucked in this for me, which is, as you can see, like a little R2-D2 figure, new in packet, and it's like a Disney type thing. It's a Star Wars droid factory figure, and you can see he's like R2-D2 is wearing like a Mickey Mouse hat or something. So he threw that in for me as part of the deal because I wanted to get a discount on this, and he wasn't keen on that. He only wanted £1 for that, so I was like, if you chuck that in, I'll take it at a tenner. I'll sell this in the shop comfortably for probably £7-8. That'll fly out pretty quickly. And this camcorder should fetch me in its condition about £40, I would expect. So that was my first pickup. So after that first pickup, and unfortunately, you normally feel good after your first pickup because you think, okay, now I can get going. I've broken the duck, as it were. However, it just didn't happen. Nothing else really stuck out. However, I was on the lookout for a tripod for myself for recording videos, and I've been getting really into my photography, so I wanted to get a tripod for my camera. And the tripod I'm actually using here is what I picked up. I paid £5 for it. I'll hopefully show you some footage of this in the video. It's a Velbon DV7000 tripod, and it comes with a PH, I think 368 head, like a fluid head. And I paid only £5, and it struck out at me because I was like, wow, this is a really good quality tripod for £5. It looks very sturdy, very, very well built, nice features. The fluid head was good. It's got like a pan and tilt feature. And I looked online, and this very tripod had sold for about between £80 and £120 regularly. So that really did cheer me up a little bit, although this was actually a purchase for myself. But £5 into potentially £80 to £120 on that tripod. And again, walking around, we're now getting to like 3 hours in, and stalls were still turning up. This was the surprising thing. There was so many sellers. There was so much stuff. I'm sure there would have been amazing stuff, and I'm sure there were sellers that have been to this car boot and would have picked up the most incredible items. I unfortunately was not one of them. It was just a weird one. However, like I said, almost 3 hours odd in, stalls were still turning up, and we were still looking, still staying positive. and I noticed yet another camera item. It's like when it rains it pours, right guys? And I saw this item. Now that is a Manfrotto monopod, as you can see there, in decent condition. Bear in mind these are like used often by professional photographers, so they get quite a lot of use and abuse, but this one is okay. It's made in Italy. It's the model 679B. I saw this and perked my interest. I asked if they had any more camera stuff, and they had, guess what? They had more tripods. So I'd already bought a tripod for a fiver, but they had more tripods. Now, they were asking a tenner an item, and I was, when I had a look at the items, I did try to haggle with them. I did say, well, if I take these items here, you know, I'd picked up 3 items at that point, and I offered 25, and they were like, oh, maybe you should come back and make an offer later. And I was like, actually, no, I'll just give you, so it's 30 you want, is it? And I was like, okay. They were like, yes, so I should pay them the 30, because I looked at the other tripods and they were definitely worth it. This monopod should fetch me about £30 plus shipping on eBay, so for a tenner to 30 it's okay. It's, you know, it's an okay flip, but it does get a lot better than that in terms of value. So here is another Manfrotto tripod that I got, again for a tenner. This one has a 0.56 like tilt pan head, which brand new retails for around, I think it's like the £50 mark. When looking at more professional level tripods, it's worth always looking at the model number of the tripod head. So in this case it's 0.56, and then looking at the model number of the actual tripod itself. They will often have 2 separate model numbers. So if the head and the tripod have 2 separate model numbers, that's a good indication they sell a slightly better tripod. In this case, this tripod head retails at about 50, so used I should get about 30. And this tripod itself again ranges, but I've seen people get about £40 quite comfortably. Now this one does have a slight issue where the head is actually stuck firmly on to the tripod base, so I'm going to have to find a way of loosening that. It's just really tightly on, so I'm going to have to like maybe figure a way out of like maybe heating it or something, or getting some like clamps on there that aren't going to destroy it. So that's a bit of a bummer there, but hopefully I'll be able to get that off. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. So that was one of the other tripods. Another tripod, another Manfrotto tripod. Again, it was £10, same, you know, part of the same deal. So this is the 390, and this one actually has a like a simple ball head. But again, this should fetch me comfortably about £40 as well. So I was pretty pleased with that as well. And then finally, yet another tripod. So in this tripod extravaganza, I've said the word tripod so many times in this video, it's feeling a little monotonous. I hope you guys are sticking with me. But there's this one. This is a Jessop's tripod, but it's a carbon fiber tripod, so that again will be worth like 40 quid on its own. And the head on it is a Giotto head, MH something, MH, you'll be able to see it there, MH 1302. That head alone again should be worth about 30 quid separately, so not a bad pickup. This is a really nice tripod. It's something I might actually, I've got to now decide which one I'm keeping, because the one I'm filming it on is what I bought for myself to keep, but I've ended up now with, you know, 4 really good tripods. I've got to decide which one I'm going to keep for myself, and which ones I'm going to sell. So all in all, at that stall I spent £40, and you know, there's plenty of money, really good return in that. Like I said, oftentimes we're going from 10 to like 40, £50 for the tripods, and then the heads separately. There were a few other bits and pieces as well that I got, like a few you know, quick release clamps bits, which will also have some value. There's another tilt pan head, so those will have some value, and they came in cases as well, which are nice as well. So that was the main pickup. Then just as I was about to leave, I found this. Now this is a ST290 Pro Satec flight stick. Often pick these up. They wanted 7. I actually offered them 5, which they accepted. So pretty cool item. Looks in good condition. Should work okay. These I think sell for maybe £20–25. So from 5 to 20–25. It's an okay purchase at best, but times were hard and I didn't want to come away with too little. But again, at the same time, I'm really conscious of coming away with like too much stuff that's not good. Overall, another day that has kind of been worth it, because when you think about spending 3 hours versus the amount of profit I'll make, you'd be hard pressed to make that in any kind of a job. But obviously, in terms of a full-time income, I will need to find a lot more items to make that happen. So this alone would not cut the mustard. As I said in yesterday's video, I did actually then go out and pick up some other bits from some contacts, which include things like digital cameras and things, but these weren't from the car boot, so no point in really going into them here. This was more about what I picked up at the car boot. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.